game called Outbreak Z, inspired by the movie World War Z. The concept of the game involves you being a security guard working at a biolab facility where a zombie outbreak is occurring, caused by an outbreak of a virus. It is your objective to escape the lab facility, rescue and escort any survivors out with you, and kill as many zombies as you can in the process. There are three different levels you must beat in order to complete the game. The difficulty of the level increases as you progress through each level, meaning zombies become harder to kill and they attack you rigorously. For the main menu, we can look at the initial instructions and controls we use for the game, such as the instruction page lists all the controls you require and the objectives of the game. So we can begin playing by clicking the play button. So the player is handed with a pistol. The screen shows the health value for the player on the top left corner. On the top right, it shows the score for the player obtained by shooting at the zombie, and the ammo for the weapon that is being held by the player. As we approach outside, we have a hallway, and we can see a zombie there. We can we can grab the zombie's attention by approaching it, and the zombie will start to chase us with a sound. And when it gets close by, it will start to attack us. And when it attacks us, then that's when you see the blood splash screen to indicate that you're being hurt. And another way to attract a zombie's attention is to shoot it from very far distance. And you can use a right click to assist with your aim to shoot with more preciseness. And this is one way to kill the zombie. You can see our screen got red, a blood effect to indicate that we got hit by the zombie. We can use we have to access this room to get to access more weapons, and unfortunately this room is locked, so we need to find the switch that overrides the room. Zombies can patrol around the scene if they are unable to find any survivors or player nearby them. On chase mode, they chase the player or the survivor depending on who is closest to them. And during attack state, they attack you to reduce your health. In here, we spot a survivor, we shall escort them outside. And also, we spot a first aid kit, so if we stand close by them, our health is replenished. And this is the button that opens the armory, so we have to press E to interact with it. And now the armory button is open. We can to escort the survivor, we have to stay within a specific distance so the survivor follows us, and if the player goes very far, the survivor won't be able to follow us. Therefore, it is very essential to keep a specific distance so that the survivor uh, uh, can always follow us. The player can sprint by holding left shift key to run away from a zombie attack. We can pick up the weapon by pressing E, and if we stand close enough, we can replenish the ammo on all the weapons. Since we picked all three weapons, we have the ability to scroll using the mouse using a scroll bar, which iterates through all the weapons we have at hand. And the player can turn off the torchlight by pressing the F key. But since this is a dark thing, it's always essential that the player must have the torchlight on so they can see the zombie very easily. We can proceed to the next level by interacting with the elevator. This is the second scene where the zombies are a little bit more harder to kill, and they have more attack power than the zombies on the previous level. We have to escort this survivors to the other side, and we have to carry any survivors along with them. so we can swap the gun and try to kill as many zombies as we can before escorting them. In the middle of the scene, we can see a reticle, which increases as we run and shrinks back to its normal position when the player is not running. The player can run, but it becomes into holster position, therefore the player cannot shoot. And we can see we heard a sound in the scene as the zombie has killed one of the survivors, so we have only one remaining survivor from the previous level. We have a 3D sound effect which allows uh, zombies in the long distance not to be heard, and if the zombie is close by, we can easily hear his screaming noise. We can see we have left one of the zombies out there. That's because we did not keep close contact with the person. And if the player accidentally shoots the zombie, the survivor, they get a message stating that it's a friendly fire, and 10 points will be reduced from the player's score. We have spotted another survivor in the scene, and also we can replenish our ammo and health. The player can pause the game during the gameplay, and they have the option to see the pause menu where the where the player can view the key controls. They can end the game or quit the application or resume the game back to normal. And also, in order when to escort the survivors to the next level, the survivors must be uh, within a specific range before entering the next level. Otherwise, they wouldn't be sent. And this is the final level of a game, and we can turn off the torch by pressing the F. And as you can see that this is a open set space, and we have a lot. There could be a lot of zombies out there, so we can leave them out here and trying to kill as many zombies as we can before escorting them to the end point to ensure that all the survivors survive. This is an elevator system which takes the player up and down easily without the need to jump. And as you can see, the zombie will easily follow us if it spots a user bullet. And we can use a shotgun as it has more damage per bullet than a pistol. And you can clearly see that it was much more difficult to kill the zombie than in previous 2 levels. Uh, we have found one of the survivors in the scene, so we can put the survivor along with the other people and escort them safely. The ammo has been replenished, so we have plenty of ammo. In this level, since this is the final level, that is the exit point over there, and since there are a lot of zombies, we have to kill every single one of them. And one thing to mention that the zombies can also kill the survivors on the scene uh, if the zombie is closer to the survivor than the player. And once it kills, the reason it's chasing the player is because it spotted the player first, and therefore it has locked the target onto the player. However, if the zombie finds a survivor on the scene first, then it would lock the target onto the survivor first, rather than uh, trying to catch the player for the first. Now we can escort these people to the exit point. So the shooting uses a ray casting, and it only makes damage when the ray cast hits the uh, zombie object. And as you can see, that the player survivor has died, and there is a first aid kit here where we can replenish our ammo, our health. And this is the exit point we came towards. The scene uses lots of point light to indicate that the scene uses a custom skybox uh, for the nighttime. Unfortunately, we were only able to get 2 survivors in the scene, out of the scene, and this is the exit point. And after this, the game will end. And it shows the number of rescuers we brought to the exit point and the scores we earned, and we can go back to the main menu. And one thing I want to also show is that the death animation for the player. Since the player does not have any physical body, the only way the death animation can be achieved for the player is to transform the Z coordinates for the player, which shall lower the camera angle to the floor. And this is one of the labs designed. Yeah, and we rescued 0 people and we scored 0, and that was the death animation for the player.